ladies and gentlemen, we are back with another Emerald Legacy discussion stream. And today, guys, we're going to be talking about route encounters. So this is Pokemon availability. Basically, one of the most important things for a game is, you can talk about what you want to do with the post-game final boss and what crazy cool things you want to give to Pokemon, but if you don't actually think about where you're going to be placing them, there's a lot of things that can't really be decided, right? Because it's like, okay, we're going to make this person super strong, but like, what's there in that at that point to the game that you can actually catch to beat them with? What's oh my god, there's millions of things, and it's we've all here played Pokemon, so we get it. But route distribution is like a really important thing, I think, especially flavorfully for how we want this ROM hack to feel. I think overall, Emerald has done a pretty good job of adding of distributing Pokemon through the game. Better than Gen 2, I will certainly say, better than Yellow. But I still do think that there's some pretty glaring issues with the game overall. There's some weird choices like Beldum not being available till the post game, and I think it was fine at the time. But now looking back, it's like, there's things we want to do to make the game just a little bit more fun. So today we are going to be going through and looking at all the routes, coming up with ideas of where we want to put different Pokemon, and just having a general discussion. The first thing I do just want to say is, as a replay gang, we got a donation from Squash Fairy Dude through the Streamlabs donation link down below in the description. And I just wanted to replay this just because it was a very kind message. And Squash Fairy Dude said, "Replay gang member here, just got on your Discord. Your work has let me relive some of the fondest childhood memories without the nagging criticism of my adult perspective, and has brought me genuine joy and even a few tears. Thank you." Super kind. Really appreciate that. I just wanted to give a shout out. But yeah, hello everyone. We're starting things off with Route 101, and as Tajiri says, I feel like 101 is the most solid. 3 Pokemon fills half a party and leaves space for 2 other routes. I kind of agree. So Route 3 and Emerald is obviously pretty fine. It's got Poochyena, Zigzagoon, and Wurmple. I don't think I would make any changes to that, really. It's mostly Poochyena and Wurmple, which I think is fine. Like, Zigzagoon is kind of a rare encounter here. You can come across it. I don't see any reason to change Route 3, or Route 101, sorry. Also, it's Joe. What's up? Welcome to the member club. I really think that Route 101, or the first route on any map, is probably best to not be messed with. So I think that's fine. I think we were all expecting that to be fine. Route 103 is the following route. This is where you go up to fight May. Here we've got Poochyena, Zigzagoon, and Wingull. I think flavorfully that's perfect, right? It's right next to the water. So you go up, you fight May, and there's just this little patch of water next to it. I feel like it's a pretty good, a pretty also well balanced thing. Obviously, it's gonna get really bad. These opening routes are pretty fine though. So we're just kind of gonna go through this. I don't know if anyone has anything. Like someone says, should we raise Zigzagoon up to 15? I think like you could do that, but it's like, okay, Zigzagoon is 20 here. Poochyena is 60. Poochyena is kind of the early. Like, flavorfully, I don't think it matters much, and it's not. It doesn't need to be perfect yet. So again, I think 103 is feeling pretty good. But then we want to head over to Route 102, and I feel like this is the first thing that we should actually be somewhat like thoughtful in looking at, because obviously there's some interesting stuff here. So Lotad, Seedot, and Ralts are the big adds here. I think there's a lot of room to change things. I do find it weird that Poochyena or Zigzagoon is still 15. That's up for debate in the future. It's not a huge deal. But the thing is that like Sapphire was Lotad, Ruby was Sapphire, or Ruby was Seedot, and then Emerald got Lotad, and they just did a 1% Seedot. Now, Seedot does suck in base, but we're going to give it grass moves. We're probably going to give it dark moves. We're going to make Shiftry fine. And assume most Pokemon will be made fine. I think that's like just a general thing I want to lay out there for anyone watching is like, remember, that there's going to be a lot of change maze. So, I'm going to say like, okay, like C dot, but don't just think like base C dot. Like remember that every Pokemon is gonna have some slight changes. So wouldn't mind cutting Poochyena's encounter rate for a 20% C dot. Yeah, 10% Lotad, 20% C dot. I'm fine with keeping C dot just the forest. So that's the other thing. I guess it would probably be beneficial to also go ahead and just look at the next few routes, just so that you're reminded of what is to come, because I think without the context, it can be a little bit tricky. So let's look at Petalburg Woods as well. So 104 is cool because it adds Talo. That's like the big add for this route. So you've got Wingull again, but it's got the 10% Talo, which I think is really good. It's also got Marill. Personally feel like Poochyena is a little overdone. I would actually just write that down, like 104, like Route 104, Poochyena feels a little overdone. Could probably make Zigzagoon the higher odds. I just feel like, okay, we're yeah, so that's cool. So Marill, Poochyena, Wurmple, it's a bit much. I would actually consider maybe not having Wurmple here, because like you've got Petalburg Woods, which I feel like, again, we're very much in like the doesn't really matter. I think up to here, I could actually see CDOT having available at Route 103 at 20% and having Lotad be there as 1%. Ooh, like an inverse Route 102. I really think that's actually a pretty cool idea, Reggie. I'm going to write that down as well. So CDOT being available on Route 22 in the same way Lotad is. Actually, I think I think that would be cooler flavorfully. So that's certainly worth considering. Bugs should definitely be in the forest, definitely. So you've got Silicoon and Cascoon. You've got Shroomish here, Talo, Poochyena, Zigzagoon. I think that's all generally fine. Maybe Surskit. Because I feel like Surskit is kind of hard to get, right? Slifer says, thank you for the super chat. What if the old rod was moved to the beach on Route 104 so that we can get Carvana and Corfish before the first gym? I feel like that would be a little bit early, and I don't feel like the old rod is generally too late. Like, you get it after the first gym, and there's a lot of water types you can catch to deal with it. Like, you've got Marill, Wingull, Mudkip, Lotad, actually, because it's going to have water moves. And I think adding that would just actually add a bit of bloat. Oh, you can't catch Surskit in Emerald. Okay, so I would say Surskit is probably something we should consider. So Surskit to either Route 102, 103, 104, or Petalburg Woods, probably. Yeah, I don't think the early rod is just gonna cause decision fatigue, where like if you have too many options at the start of the game, you already have a lot of options at the start of Emerald. Like that's something I find like Emerald does quite well, is like you've got Talo, Shroomish, and Ralts. Like 3 of the game's best Pokemon are all before you even make it out of Petalburg Woods. You've also got like some other decent ads in there. Like, I don't know, Lotad can be okay. It will be okay in our version because it'll actually get good moves and stuff. Yeah, I don't really want to talk about what we're gonna do to Surskit Masquerain right now, just because it's been such a divisive topic. I do like the idea of like, I don't know. Let's just finish this up right now. So, again, Route 102, I think that's fine, the Lotad C-Dot. And I do really like the idea of Route 103 actually maybe having the reverse. I don't know. C-Dot is just kind of shafted in Emerald because it's got a 1% encounter, and it's also the fact that it's not that good. Like no one runs it because it's not good. I like Ralts at the 4%. I think it could be interesting to bring back the 1% Surskit encounter maybe. I think that could be kind of cool. Or replace Zigzagoon Poochyena in the forest. I think, or replace Zig Pooch with Surskit in Petalburg Woods. I think that is a pretty good consideration. I feel like everyone makes the same team every single time because it's a handicap to not. Yeah, and that's kind of what I say about, like, remember that everything's going to be changed. You know what I mean? Like, remember that every Pokemon is going to be changed from base, right? So, like, you can say, well, I feel like the options are great on paper.
Please continue making legacy versions
oh my
beyond
God.
Gen 3. Your team has breathed new
Whew.
life into these classics.
Whew. Okay. We've got Jet Life Jarrett tipping a fat hundo bomb. Thank you so much. I just got to say, like, that's really kind. It's great for the team. It's great for the project. Really do appreciate the support. So, can we just first see a round of love for Jet Life? Really, really kind. So thank you so much. And says please continue making legacy versions beyond 3. I think I'd be open to maybe Gen 4. My thing is that I've never played Pokemon Platinum, Diamond, or Pearl. I've only played BDSP. So I would have to do a lot of research before, but I know it's something a lot of people would like. So I don't want to say it's a hard no, but I think that we should just, it's really easy to get caught up in, like, what's down the road. I think for now, let's just focus on Emerald. Let's just have fun with Emerald. And if, after that, I'm like, dang, I kind of would like to work on another ROM hack, then sure, but I think for now we're just gonna sit where we're at and do it. I've enjoyed it when you get access to some Pokemon early. And yeah, sorry, that's from Keith, who says new member. We're definitely going to add a few new Pokemon. I do like rare encounters. I like a 4% encounter. I think there should be a few 1% encounters in the game, but not a lot. I know Eevee really bothered people in Yellow, but again, Eevee wasn't, like, required. It was, like, only if you wanted to beat the Pokedex, and I think that there should be very few, but a few 1% encounters. So anyway, Jet Life, one more time, thank you so much. We love it. Slifer says, what if the old one was moved? Right. And then Wordna says, where did that go? What normally National Dex Pokemon are being added to help types otherwise low availability? Yeah, so that's actually something that we're going to talk about. But I don't think anything's going to get added before the first gym. So I wanted to go through the first gym and then get to what we're going to look at, because I think this early section is pretty important to be good. It's important that this is really locked in. So just getting some really basic ideas in right now, but we're gonna get more open to this as we go. For now, I would assume we're just talking about the Ho Index. There's gonna be just a few additions, so not a lot at all. So Route 104, Petalburg Woods. I feel like, honestly, again, assuming that all these Pokemon get better niches, you're sitting at a pretty good game right now. Like, there's not a lot I really want to change. Like, I really don't know what I don't like about this. Like, you've got water types, you've got Tailo, you've got Ralts, you've got, like, some of the early Pokemon that'll probably see a bit of buffs, nothing crazy. Respero City. I really only think it's once you get up to, it's Route 116. This route is kind of weird. I gotta be honest, I hate Abra. Like, genuinely hate the presence of Abra. I just think, like, Abra has had its time to shine. But honestly, I think if we just leave Abra alone, it will get, like, its level 42 evolution. But it's only going to have Psychic, whereas Gardevoir has Thunderbolt. So I don't really think that Abra will be too OP to just be left alone. So I think that's cool. Swablu on Route 116. Lower Whismur for Skitty. I agree. I find it very weird that Rust Turf Tunnel has exclusively Whismur, and yet the route before it also has to make space for Whismur. What do you think about moving Plusle and Minun to before Gym 1? I think it's the question is either, do you want them to be good whatsoever, or do you want them before Gym 1? Because they've got like 400 base stats, which is really strong for before the first gym. So basically, like, you know, you just got to, and you know it's a wild pitch. You got to think about the leverage you're pulling there, right? Because that's the thing, is like you're basically just constrained. Like, it's not like you can just do infinite stuff. Because, like, yeah, like you could add Rayquaza to the first route, but you'd have to, but like, we're going to make the game balanced, right? So like you'd have to make Rayquaza have like 300 base stat. You know what I mean? Like it doesn't work, right? So what I'm getting at is like, you just got to remember it's a bunch of levers. And if you want Plusle and Minun to be at the start of the game, 400 base stat is like actually pretty strong. Vulpix and Forest for second early fire type. Now, that's actually a discussion I do like, because I think the first, like, you've got access to, oh my God, is it 4 grass types at the start of the game? You've got Lotad, Seedot, Shroomish, and Sceptile. Water type is Lotad, oh, I guess not Surskit, but Lotad, Wingull, Marill, and Mudkip. And then it's just Torchic. And in a way, that does kind of make Torchic better. But is there 6 water? There's 6 water. Rust 116. I don't think there's 6 water. But ooh, what about Slugma on Route 116? All fire types are bundled together at the same spot. Vulpix also does work. Yeah, I think. I feel like I feel like that actually could work kind of well. Is like, because Swablu is kind of bad. Like, I feel like Swablu is like an investment that should pay out, and it doesn't. And again, don't worry about balancing the Pokemon at this point. Like, just assume the Pokemon will be balanced. I think Swablu actually wouldn't be too bad to fit on Route 116. And I know a lot of people really like Swablu. It's another bird type. It's also not that great for the first gym, so it doesn't really break the game. Slugma or Vulpix could actually sit nice on Route 116 as well. It's, you know, like a rocky area. It does feel kind of appropriate, I do think. Someone says, like, I feel like Abra is outclassed by Ralts just on levels they evolve at. 30 for Gardevoir, so it will grow more naturally. Your team may be better for a long time. Honestly, I really, like, you're just gonna have to wait for Saturday's video. They bring the exact same amount of utility to the game. Like, they are like so similar. And I guess if Alakazam had to evolve later, it actually might become worse. But in base Emerald, like, I would say the amount of help that they provide for a playthrough is equal. Someone here is going to be like, yeah, but this, and it's like, if you just factor every single way they contribute, it's entirely different, but it adds up to about the same, where they're just like the exact same Pokemon. And like, one is better for the late game, one is better for the mid game, and it doesn't really matter. But yeah, Alakazam doesn't get Shockwave in place of earlier full evolution if you can afford it. Yeah. Oh, Thunderbolt. Yeah. But like, Kadabra is better in the mid game. It's like way better. So the point is like, I think they're going to be fine. I think it's fine. Like, you're not going to run both of them. Flavorfully, it's already in the game. It just doesn't feel right to change it. I really don't like this Route 116 though. Like, it's just like more Poochyena, more Zigzagoon. Tailow's fine. Nincada's fine. Skitty's nice for sure. I think you could definitely bump the Skitty odds up. Let's say that for sure. Route 116 needs a Skitty percent boost. It's just it's so low. Yeah, you know, and it's like, when can you get the Firestone for Vulpix to evolve? It's like, again, don't worry about that. Like, that's, you just got to remember, everything's going to be balanced. So we're really just talking about where we want to throw some Pokemon. Like, everything can be balanced, right? So it's just about, like, what do you think should go where? A 1% nose pass would be kind of interesting. Pichu. Yeah, I know. Everyone wants that Pikachu encounter. I think we should table Pikachu for now. But definitely not Chimecho early. That is, like, flavorfully kind of like a rare late game Pokemon. And I'd really like to just make it so that it can actually be good. And putting it so early, you can't make it good. Yeah, I don't like 1% encounters unless it, like, I think like 4% encounters are typically the way to go for a rare Pokemon. I definitely think Whismur needs a skitty boost, Whismur can be removed. Did I miss a super chat? Oh, you could swap Jigglypuff and Abra for Bow. Jigglypuff and Abra locations. Again, I don't think it would be unbalanced to leave Abra where it is, and I think that would be an unfair nerf to Abra, unfortunately. But you could certainly... Well, I don't know. Does Jigglypuff really need to be at the start of the game? Like, this is like a Hoenn game, you know? So I don't even know if I really like Jigglypuff. Like, what does that really do? You know, it's like Jigglypuff has had its time to shine in Gen 1. It's really not that bad in Gen 1. I don't think I like it there. Do we maybe add Corphish as an Old Rod good encounter to Dewford the surrounding routes as a teeny nod to the anime? So honestly, typically how I go with the anime is, like, I don't do anything just for the anime. It has to make sense in the game. But that makes sense in the game, and it's like, well, if it's reference to the anime, then even better. I feel like Corphish should be either there or the beach route before Slateport. Yeah, the Kantomon should have availability nerfs. Like, again, early Sandshrew, it's like, I don't want to add any Gen 1 Pokemon unless it's, like, absolutely necessary. Like, they have had their love in Gen 1 and 2. This is Hoenn, and I just, like, I don't know, man. Like, go play Fire Red if that's what you want. You know, this is, you got to think, like, this is Hoenn, right? So I really don't like that take. Anyway, thank you to Alan, and it says maybe add Houndour or Growlithe. Again, I don't like Growlithe at all. I think Houndour would probably be an okay later add, but nothing early. You got that. That's your Gen 2 Mon right there. Let's not feature Gen 2. Gen 3 Mons unless it's really necessary. Sorry, Gen 2 Mons. Tajiri says, here's the thought. Could we put Spoink north of Rustboro or Dewford? It should probably come before Abra to justify it on a team. I think it's really hard to add it because it's like 3 psychic types before the first gym. Or I guess Dewford. A day and night mechanic in Emerald Legacy. The amount of work that would take, I think it's actually been done already, and I love it. It's definitely a discussion for another time, but thank you. Yeah, I don't know about Spoink. I don't know. I don't know if I love Spoink early. Swapping Ralts is like I just don't think there's a way to make Emerald feel as foreign to the player as it would be to remove Ralts. So anyway, I'm just trying to, like, make sure we're on the same page with what this ROM hang is. Sometimes I respond to bad ideas too much, but yeah, I just want us to be all on the same page. I know it annoys people, but, like, I want everyone to understand, like, what the assignment is, you know? So yeah, I think Corphish might be an okay ad, but I don't really know about Spoink. Hey, Bryce. Yeah, Delcatty, of course, will get some buffs if we're going to add it. And then Rust Surf Tunnel. So I hate this. I think if I was gonna do, actually, here's what I want to do. Let's move ahead. Okay, we're gonna move ahead. So you've got Petalburg City. You know, you go ahead, you go up, you beat Whitney, you beat Roxanne, you do all that stuff. You head to Route 105. You head to Route 106. You head to Dewford Town. Okay, you get to Dewford Town. There's not really anyone to fight. But you're like, all right, cool. There's like a ton of cool, whatever. And then you're like, okay, I'm gonna go to Route 106 actually, because I want to go into Granite Cave. And then you get in here, and there's a lot of new Pokemon in this cave. So I think if we want to talk about Rust Turf Tunnel, we also have to talk about Granite Cave, because my critique of early Emerald, I would say, this is probably my biggest critique, is that they only place a really underwhelming single Pokemon in the first cave. And in doing that, they then have to just load up Granite Cave. And as we said before, having not enough Pokemon to catch is an issue, but so is having too many. Like, if the player has so many options that they're overwhelmed, that hurts the game just as much, because you're like, well, I want to catch everything. It's issue.
Can you please nuke Puchiena's availability? Poor guy shows up in every grass patch you visit until after Mobile Gym. Crying face.
Yeah, definitely. I think that's a really good thing to just generally. Puchiena has way too much availability. I think just as a general take, that needs to just kind of get toned back, because it's a little much. It's like Rattatas in Gen 1. This isn't right. I'm seeing good comments in the chat. What's going on? Listen, chat's learning. So Rust Turf Tunnel is full of Pokemon that react badly to loud noises. Doesn't have to be Whismur. Yeah, I think definitely. So anyway, let's talk about these caves. Okay, so nothing here, right? Granite Cave. I talked about this in the last stream. New Pokemon. You've got Zubat. You've got Geodude. You've got Makuhita. 3 new Pokemon, which I'll also say I think are underleveled. I think these levels should probably be like 11 to 13, like, or maybe 11 to 14 even, because like Brawly's level 19. So it's like, okay, yeah, you can catch a Zubat to help with Brawly, but it's level 8. Like, ouch. You know, you're not, like, the game does not encourage catching Pokemon after like the first gym. It's really hard to level anything up here because there's no trainers either. So level boost for sure. And I'll actually note that. Granite Cave needs level boost to level. Actually, let's just do it like this. Let's do Granite Cave, and then we'll do like Indents. So needs level boost to level like 10 to 14 on average, or maybe even 11 to 14. And then you could train easier too. Poochyena is the apex predator of Hoenn. That's funny. Yeah, so I think usually you want Pokemon to be a little bit below gym. Yeah, 10 for Granite Cave. Any higher, it might be too extreme. Agreed. So I could see, let's just for now say 10 to 14 or 9 to 14. We'll go wide and we can hone that in. But where we're at now, like a level 6 Geodude for Brawly. Okay, yeah. You move on, like you've got B1F, which also adds Sableye. It adds Aeron. Doesn't add Mawile, but like, you know, Sableye or Mawile, right? So there's just a lot of and then also you can come back for Nosepass. There's a lot of Pokemon here. Steven's room I don't think has anything different, but yeah. So you've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 new Pokemon in one cave. Here's what I think, okay? I think that Zubat absolutely needs to move to the cave. It's just weird that Zubat is not in the cave. Okay, so I guess the levels also, I should mention, do go up a little bit. I think the first cave should have Zubat, Rust Turf, and one other Pokemon. Probably Geodude, right? Like probably probably Geodude. Yeah, it feels fair. Geodude for sure. Makes sense. Zubat can't live in the same game as Whismur. Geodudes are noisy. So, the classic duo. I know it's. I know like. I think for now I'm gonna just write it down. So Rust Turf, Tunnel. What's the deal with Whismur? Is that they make a lot of noise? Like, oh, you guys can't see the Pokemon on the screen. Oh, I'm sorry. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. I'm sorry. Mistakes are being made. How's that? That's better. There we go. And there, that's fine. Look at that. Beautiful. Sorry, guys. Yeah, so I think that's good, okay? Because then you get to this next spot. You get the only thing is you get Makuhita, which is fine as a good counter. Aeron is bad. I feel like Aeron needs like a decent early ground move for it to be worth catching. I'm just gonna say it, guys. Some of you get it, okay? Some of you have woken up, okay? You're not sheep to the Aggron hype train. The Aeron line is not good in Emerald. It's not a good Pokemon to use. First gym, it's got a 4x weakness too. Next gym, it gets 2-shot by every electric move because its special defense is so bad and hasn't evolved yet. The next gym is fire. Not really what you want. The next gym is normal type. Okay, finally something good. Next gym is finally something good. 7th gym is not that great. Like you've got like a earthquake user. You've got flamethrower. It's again not that great. And then you've got water. Dragon, dark. Like it's just Aggron is cool. I like Aggron too. I like the design, but he's not very good. I'm saying the boy needs some love. He doesn't even learn a rock move. Okay, so to my people that know that Aggron sucks, I see you. To my people that think Aggron is good, you're wrong. But if you think it's cool, I respect it, okay? We all just need to come to an understanding that Aggron is really cool, but not very good, and it needs to be good. Okay? I say this out of love because I used to run it every time as a kid too, and now I've gone back and tried to use it. I'm like, why the hell did I ever use this thing? It's so goddamn bad. It needs Earthquake, it needs Magnitude, it needs Dig, it needs Rock Slide, it needs probably Rock Throw or Rock Tomb. It should get some good steel moves, like I guess it gets Metal Claw anyway. Yeah. Aggron with Surf. Yeah. It needs some love. It is the Onyx of Hoenn. It's actually okay because it has high attack and it gets some decent moves. But yeah, like Iron Tail is tough. So I just wanted to note that. Like Aeron needs some love. I like Aeron here. I like Makuhita here. But oh, that's right. So Sableye and Mawile. I think Aeron is good in this cave, by the way. I want to talk about my thoughts on Sableye and Mawile. Let's just talk about single stage evolutions. If you want your single stage evolution to be good, it can't come super early because you have to buff its stats, okay? So 380, here's the thing, my Mawile lovers. If you want Mawile early, there's not a whole lot I can do here, okay? If you want Mawile to be good for the late game, there's not a lot I can do here. Because Mawile would probably want like 500 base stat to be good or have some crazy moves, which actually might work better. I just don't know how there is a version of Mawile that's good through the end of the game with these stats. And I don't know how I could put a Mawile, a good Mawile, this early in the game. You see, like, I think you guys, you've been through this process. Like, this is our third ROM hack we fixed. It's really tough to fit Mawile into this spot in the game. Yes, you could totally lock its good moves into level plus 40, but do you still want to use this through the end of the game? No, you don't. You're better off going with Aggron. I think Sableye and Mawile personally would do much better if they were put later in the game, which I know kind of sucks. I mean, Mawile isn't even in here in Emerald, so that's not really that big a deal. And it wasn't in the game for Ruby players, right? It is an only steel type. And that's the other thing is I'm like, it's a pure steel type. That's actually really cool. Like, don't you want Mawile to be good? You know what I'm saying? Like I would like to see this thing actually be good. Because it's so unique. It doesn't have fairy, right? It just has steel type in this game, and it can it get intimidate? That's pretty cool, you know? So what's a Mega Mawile? Not that we're gonna make it Mega Mawile, but like 480. Like, ironically, that would probably be pretty great for Mawile. Well, like, you know, like a 430 base maybe, put it a little bit later, give it good moves. I think, you know, intimidate. I think Mawile could be pretty solid. Or huge power? I don't think it gets huge power, does it? No, it gets hyper cutter, which prevents other Pokemon from lowering the attack stat of this Pokemon. That's certainly something. Wyvern gets it. What did Wyvern say? 480 with huge power. That would be crazy. Adding them to the right side of Rust Turf Tunnel, though it would require repeating Rust Turf into 2 sections. Yeah, okay. So that's the third thing I want to talk about, okay? By the way, I know I've missed a few super chats. I'm gonna get to them. I didn't want to be too broken up, but I see you guys. I'm gonna get to super chats in just a second, okay? And thank you for the super chats. Appreciate all those ones coming through. I actually do want to talk about this idea that I've been proposing. So let me just bring up Rust Turf Tunnel here. I've actually been thinking about splitting it into 2 sections, adding a second room, basically. So here's our Rust Turf Tunnel. So Rust Turf Tunnel currently, this is the Emerald, the Sapphire version, or it's it without smoke, maybe. I don't know, but regardless, it's the same layout. It's just one big area. The thing I don't like about that is when you're coming at it from Falarbur Town, I believe, for the Watson fight. You want to I want to catch a good Pokemon in the area for Watson, and there's no ground types in the area. There's nothing that can really deal with Watson, which is really annoying. So what do you do? Oh, well, let's go to the cave because there's probably a ground type in the cave, and it's still just Whisper. So what I would like to do is this section right here, I'd like it to actually be like, imagine like it's all covered across, and there's just like a little like entrance, and you pop out on the other side. And so that would make this section over here like its own area, and then you could actually give it other like different encounters, and then those encounters could be higher level. So like you could actually maybe catch like a higher level Geodude if you want it for the Watson fight, something like that, just to help you out. Because that's my big critique of Watson, is that there's just nothing there to actually catch. So if you had like Rust Turf Tunnel, like the other side, could be kind of cool. Yeah, really like that idea. Okay, I think people like that. Oh, sorry, Verdant Turf. Thank you. Falarbur's up top. Yeah, Verdant Turf. Anyway, Rust, Sporo, Verdant Turf, Rust Turf. Yeah, it's a cool name. Yeah, so that would be the question is, would you want to put Mawile there? I think we're at the point now, guys, where we can start talking about distribution. So before we get to distribution, just let me actually. Do you mind if I just grab a drink really quickly? I'm a little parched, so I'm just gonna grab a quick beverage, and we're going to talk about availability. Take a peek at this chart, get it in your brains, because we're gonna be looking at what Pokemon are in need of where. Did I spill that on myself? More than I had, more than I hoped I would have. A little kombucha. You know what I'm saying? Tasty. Tasty. Oh, one last thing. One last thing before we finish up, before we get to super chats and before we finish up with Granite Cave. So yeah, I'm thinking no Sableye and Mawile. Buff them, put them a little bit later. But Steven's room at a 4 to 5% encounter rate for Beldum. The playtesters were really upset with that idea because they thought Beldum was better than it is. It's not that good. It's only Metagross that's good. So, Granite Cave, remove Mawile and Sableye to buff and put later. Beldum in Steven's room. Metang is not that good, honestly. It's really not. It's me. I was playtesters. It wasn't just you, Reggie. I had Meditite. I think Meditite is going to come a little bit later, unfortunately. Just to not compete with your boy. Was that it for Granite Cave? Level boost, remove Mawile and Sableye to buff and put later. Oh yeah, and then Rust Turf Tunnel, Zubat and Geodude. Second area on the Verdant Turf side with higher levels, and possibly 1 to 2 new Pokemon. All right, so we're gonna look at Hoenn distribution. First, I'm just gonna take a peek at super chats. So we have Shadow Dragon, who says, I can't stay for long, so I ask that can you change the Feebas encounter location, then please repurpose the trendy phrase house to something useful. Yeah, so I think Feebas is a really important thing to talk about. I think at the very least, Feebas is probably going to want to... I think at the very least we should remove the requisite where Feebas needs to be on like a certain tile and just put it on the entire route. Personally, I think that's what I would like to do. It just sucks. I also think it would be possibly cool. Oh, this was the other thing we talked about. Is either making it so that imagine we put all the contests back to how they were Emerald Sapphire, where you just like slowly go through them throughout the game. So that, and then, which side note, that actually makes like Verdant Turf Town actually have something in it. Otherwise, there's just nothing there. Anyway, so maybe if you beat a I don't know, the basic beauty contest, you get a Feebas. That might be too easy. It might be not flavorful. So maybe also if you complete the final one for any, so like you complete the master beauty contest, you get a free Milotic. It's a lot of effort to get. So I don't know. We're gonna do something. Ooh, I'm so sorry. That's really loud, especially for people that are sleeping at night. I'm so sorry.
I completed the decks in the last 2 hacks and loved it. Would it be possible to choose between original and upgraded gym teams post-game for an engaging way to level up Mon?
Oh, engaging way to level up moms when completing the decks. That's actually a pretty cool question. That's actually a really neat idea. I never thought about that. But yeah, so if you made the gyms, so like what team do you want to challenge? Like by gym 1, team 2, 3. I think that's a really fun idea because we're certainly going to fix, oops, excuse me. Why is this not? I'm trying to copy and paste this idea. There we go. Not quite for this, but I guess it is related to leveling up. I'm just going to write that down, okay? We're definitely going to fix the system of rematches. So I'll write that down. I'll just note that. Not super about the discussion today, but I really, really like that idea. So thank you a lot. I think that's a very clean idea. Let's get some hearts in the chat for Jamie. Thank you very much. And again, anyone that's listening to this while they're trying to fall asleep, I'm very sorry. A little bit louder than I had hoped. I've had a few people say that the alerts are a little too loud or too annoying. I love the text to speech. So if you donate through the link in the description, you'll get text to speech. Also, YouTube won't take 30% cut of the donation, so it's always appreciated if you do it that way. But yeah, I had some people saying it's a little too loud, it's a little too annoying. So yeah, and thank you T Greeny and Deoxys and Wilson and Lobster for the hearts. So anyway. Rustboro Enduro, good place for a trade Pokemon. Perhaps a guy wants an Abra for a Nubril, Sableye, or Trapinch. I certainly think there's room for a good trade in there. I'll write that down. I'm not totally sure what I want to trade. You know, I know it's like we all want an early Trapinch, but I do think like Trapinch kind of feels good where it is. Trapinch also has pretty high attack. Might be a little too OP, but it would be cool for the first gym for sure. So something to think about. Woke by Kittens up, but it's all right. They love your content. Yes, I love that. We love the kitties. John says, I have a suggestion. How can we implement any ads? Altering Cave. Yes. So Altering Cave is going to be for post-game because it's not going to be a national dex before the end of the game. It would just be way too bloated. It would suck. It'd be really awful. So we're going to make it so that this is only after the game is over. That's what we'll use that for. It'll be post-game catches to complete the national dex for all you national dex people. Big Magpie says, have someone inverted turf contest hall saying their Pokemon Feebas is so ugly, can never win contests, so they offer to give it to the player. Right? I would say only though, like it can't just be a free. But yeah, exactly. I'll write that down. I like that a lot. I think that's a good idea. And then Shedrio says, what about being forced to explore the abandoned ship in Route 108 on the way to Slateport and filling it with entirely new encounters? Maybe some early ghost types or off-kilter water types. I also think that's a really fun idea. So thank you. I hadn't really thought about that. But that's actually a very, very interesting. So thank you. I like, you guys are coming up with some really fun ideas here. It would be cool if the abandoned ship had a little more like, go out of your way to get it. Like I wouldn't want to force the player, but if there was like a little bit more of like, hey, Wally's like, hey, let's go check out this abandoned ship. Want to come with me or something? I don't know. It'd be cool. Also, fly out of the abandoned ship for sure. Just heat up a tasty cherry pie and put a scoop of vanilla ice cream on top. Doesn't. Why would you retract that? I was so curious what you were gonna say. Yeah, so I don't know about like Feebas. I think it's definitely worth a consideration. We don't want it to be too easy, but Anyway, things to consider. I've been seeing some people talking about ghost Pokemon. I think that's all our super chats for right now. So yeah, thank you to Big Magpie, Shadrio, Jamie, John, and Tajiri, and Shadow Dragon. We can. I mean, this is a really, I think, powerful chart to kind of show you what Emerald looks like. So this game has a lot of water Pokemon. It has a lot of grass, a lot of normal. Excuse me, a lot of psychic, a lot of flying. Not very many fire, electric, ice, steel, dragon. That's fine, you know, ghost. The game is kind of in a weird spot, as far as some of this goes, and I feel like well, we've already kind of started talking. We've already like got this kind of going motion, so I should just show you guys. Fire, we're talking about what to add, right? There's not a lot of fire Pokemon in the game. Is it 3? What are the fire starters? You've got, actually, okay. So there's 5 total, right? So you've got Kanto, you've got Ninetales, Johto, you've got Slugma and Macargo, you've got Camerupt, Torkoal, Blaziken. That's it. Yeah. Oh, and then I said plus cast form. Technically, it is kind of a fire type, I guess. I think, yeah, you know. Earlier Numel in the second Rust Turf Tunnel. That wouldn't be the most off-brand thing ever. I think I'd write that down. I think I'd consider that. Let's see here, Rust Turf Tunnel. Like maybe it might be a little weird, but maybe. I think that. Okay, let me start with my biggest issue as far as distribution goes. Is that there's no ice types until the very end of the game. Ice isn't even that good. So, like, why would you want an ice type before the 6th gym? Like, bad against the second, bad for gym 1, bad for gym 2. I guess Swinub could be good for gym 3. Could maybe get a nice shot off in gym 4, but it would die pretty quick. Not going to do a lot in gym 5. Finally, yes, gym 6. Gym 7, actually, it would provide use, and you get it for gym 7. I do like... I do want another ice type. I just don't know where you put the ice types is really my issue. Yeah, it's certainly got like tropical region vibes. It's so Route 114 for Swinub. Let's see. The other thing is, it's like, do you want to put... Yeah, that's actually not the worst route. I think that's probably one of the more flavorful routes. I think my thing is, like, do you want to put, like, you know, if you're gonna add what ice types, right? Do you want to make like a new Pokemon, put a new ice type in the game, and make it available before the other 2 ice types, and then sort of therefore outclass them? It's so tough, right? It's so tough.
Could Spheal be an earlier encounter anywhere? Signed a round boy enthusiast.
Oh, listen, Pointy, we are all round boy enthusiasts here, okay? We are all Sfeel lovers. I feel like Sfeel, if anyone, deserves a new emoji. But actually, I could see Sneasel in Meteor Falls. But I do think that Seal is the only Pokemon that really works outside of a cave. Yeah, like Sfeel on a beach or Snow-Run at Meteor Falls for an ice type, because caves have different temps inside from outside naturally. Underground lakes are cold. Sfeel on beaches so you can play ball. Yeah, I like Sneasel in Meteor Falls. Actually feels pretty appropriate. I do think, ooh, a Sfeel as a reward for the cute contest. You know, honestly, that could be a really nice way to flavorfully add some Pokemon that you're not otherwise going to be able to catch. I think either on the beach of, what route is that? What route are we looking for here? We're looking for Slateport. It's like Route 109, I think. Am I locked into Hoenn, guys? I am locked into Hoenn. There it is. I feel like it's either Route 109 or Contest, probably. And that would be before Watson. Like, it's not helping out for Watson, really. But it's another water type for Flannery. Is Sfeel just water? Also, I said Sfeel, and someone was like, not another Kanto water type. I was like, it's not Seal. Sfeel! Oh my god. Okay, let's try that one more time. Lapras seems to be like a no-brainer. Oh! Oh no! No, don't say it. Don't say it, Happy Masquerade. Listen, there's one rule. There's one rule, and you have just broken it. No more water types. Okay? 22 water types in the game. No. Absolutely not. I love you. Thank you for the donation. Absolutely do not need any more water types in this game. Bring back Game Corner Pokemon. That could be an idea too. Oh yeah, well, so Sfeel is water ice. Thick Fat. So it's, ice and fire moves are reduced by half. Damn. So Sfeel is like the most insane pivot into an ice move ever, because it would be an 8 times resistance, right? Because water resists ice, ice resists ice, and Thick Fat resists ice. So actually, Sfeel wouldn't be too bad for the Flannery fight, if with Thick Fat. Yeah. So big rules is like no types that are really common. Like, we don't want to add any water. We don't want to add any psychic types. Probably not any flying types. And we also, if we're going to add Pokemon from past gens, mostly want to do Gen 2 because Gen 1 is so overrepresented. We kind of want to add the Pokemon that you thought were, like, we want to add Skarmory Slugma type Pokemon. Pokemon that a lot of people just thought were Gen 3 Pokemon because they just weren't in Generation 2 enough. So, oh, Ice only resists Ice. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, like adding Kingler. It's like, oh yeah, great. Another water type that just utterly outclasses, like that just is like Corphish, you know? It's like, yeah, you know? So, Yeah, Skarmory isn't Emerald. So what I'm saying is like Skarmory and Slugma are Pokemon in Emerald that were so underrepresented in Gen 2, people actually thought that they were introduced in Gen 3. Yeah. So the number of water types is that water types are disproportionately good. Ice typing actually makes it one of the more fair early game water types. Yeah, that's the other thing is like there's not amazing answers for Flannery. So I do think Spheal would be kind of interesting. You wouldn't even have a Celio, which is kind of tough. But this is one of the few Pokemon that have a late Evo that it's like, okay, fair enough. Because Walrein is actually that good. Like, I mean, it's like starter level good, but yeah. I do think it would be like Spheal. Let's get this down. The beach of Route 109 or for the cute contest. Spheal and Celio are horrendous. Okay, so maybe a bit of love. No, I think Walrein is a really good Pokemon. That's tough to carry to 32, so maybe a bit of a buff. It's easier to put a water ice type somewhere. And you could certainly say like, oh, this Spheal like is kind of like it got lost, like Spheals are known to like sometimes wander too far and like get caught in the currents, and I don't know. Could the Celio Evo level be lowered? That's another way to maybe work it so that those stats are workable because it gets surf, right? So it's gonna have good water attacks, and ice is nice. I think you could do with that. Yeah, I do like the thing I like about Swinub is that it would make for the electric gym. It's just that like again, coming back to it, I think if we're gonna add ice types, the ones that we've said is like Sneasel, Jinx, and Swinub. Like those are really the three. Not adding another water ice type. Like yeah. Celio at 24 for Flannery. I think that would be a lot more realistic. I think that's probably the play. So you take that. Yeah, like grab. It's tough, man. Because then what is the Shoal Cave? What is Shoal Cave? Oh, and people have been saying Tyrogue. I do want to talk about Tyrogue, but let's just write this out. So Spheal, beach early maybe. Sneasel, I would say probably Meteor Falls would be cool for Sneasel. I think. I don't really want to add Jinx to the game if I'm being honest. It's just annoying because it's one of the few non-water ice types. I don't want to add Tyrogue into the game directly. I'm so sick of Hitmonlee and Hitmonchan. Those two absolute clowns like are just awful. I hate them. I hate balancing them. I hate them. I hate everything to do with them. Like actually two of my least favorite Pokemon after getting into like balancing these into ROM hacking. I hate them. They're awful. But I want to add Hitmontop. I think flavorfully, Hitmontop would feel kind of like a Slugma or a Skarmory. Whereas adding Hitmonchan is like, Jesus Christ, this clown is back again from Kanto. When will he die? Can we get Houndour early? I'm going to say no. But Hitmontop, I think there's room for another fighting type in this game. That's what I'll say. We've got 6 fighters. Our options is like the other 2 Hitmon clowns. Mankey. That's it, right? What are the new fighting types in Gen 2? Is it just Heracross? I don't really like Mankey either, guys. I just think that's so Gen 1. Ugh. No, I don't hate Gen 1 Pokemon. I just don't see why we need to add Gen 1 Pokemon to a Gen 3 Pokemon game. There's enough of them already. I don't think it's fine. This is Generation 3. This is a brand new region, and adding a bunch of Kanto Pokemon to the game just dilutes the value of Hoenn Pokemon. So, you add Mankey, you add Hitmonchan, it's like, Jesus Christ, we don't need this. This adds nothing. It's just another fighting type, okay, with stupid bases. It's just stupid. It doesn't fit. It doesn't fit. It is not generationist because I am a Gen 2. I am Gen 1er. I'm a Gen 1er to my core. And I say this as a Gen 1er. As a Gen 2er. Absolutely not. The thing is, if you add Hitmontop, you can get those other two Pokemon fine. I just personally think that Hitmontop was in Gen 2 so little that it can afford to go here and not feel like it's really out of place. Like, it would feel like Slugma, it would feel like Skarmory. So I like adding Hitmontop. I think Mankey would probably be fine. Bro, listen. And here's the thing. I hate Hitmontop. Okay? If you don't know, if you need to know something about me, I hate Hitmontop too. I hate all three of them. But I think Hitmontop as a trade. I think Hitmontop as a trade. If you want to go out of your way to breed a freaking Hitmontop to get Hitmonchan, okay? I'm not going to stop you from just spending half an hour banging your head off the wall so that you can continue to bang your head off the wall for the rest of the game. I'm just saying. I'm a Hitmon hater, man. That line, awful to balance. I hate Hitmontop too. I hate them. I probably hate Hitmontop the most of the three. Maybe Hitmonchan. It's close. Hitmonlee almost gets a pass. So bad. But anyway, Hitmontop as either a contest or a trade or somewhere encounter. I'm going to finish this granola bar, and I want you guys to think about what you've said. I think that Fampy, and I saw someone also say Mareep. I think those are two Pokemon that got a pretty good amount of love in Gen 2. So I'm not chomping at the bit to add them. Fampy's available really early. Mareep is available really early, like in base crystal. I don't know. Like, Ampharos is... my fear with Ampharos is that you put it in the game and everyone's just going to run it. But I do think that is a better pick than most. There's only 6. you know. Actually, yeah. So fire and ice, or sorry, fire and electric, and I guess ice is too as well, are really the only types that we're considering adding Kanto Pokemon, just because we don't really like the distribution for them, and what like there's just not a lot you can give it from Gen 2. So you know what I'm saying here? It's like I don't love Magmar and Electabuzz. I don't want to add them into the game, but it's really like Electabuzz or Ampharos, you know? Yeah, like you hate Raj Kevis says I hate how Smoochum is the answer. You get it, right? I feel it too. You know, Houndour. I hate that it's another good answer. I do think Ampharos could fit in Hoenn. It is so like both Mareep and Houndour are such quintessential Gen 2s. They don't really have the Slugma Skarmory treatment. You know? So I don't know. A lot of people want an early Chinchu. I do feel like it's so late, it's kind of tough. Like Starmie is really late in this game, but Starmie is so good it should be late. Like Starmie should be a late game, like almost done the game pickup, because it's that good. I am a Starmie stan. If you didn't know, I love Starmie. Yeah, I don't think like a Pokemon like Starmie, but Lantern is available as around the same time as Starmie, you know, and like Lantern isn't that great. Isn't Chinchu busted in Gen 3? Does it have like water absorb? Because that would be really good. Oh, it has Volt absorb. There's not that electric moves. I think we should table that for now. We're getting a little off topic. But Raj says another really good thing. Like Ampharos was in the plot of Gen 2, and that's why, yeah, like I think that's a good point as to why it doesn't feel good to use in this game. You know, I think most people are like, yeah, you should put Ampharos in the game simply because I really like Ampharos. And I don't think that is a good reason. I could see Mareep in Safari Zone. Yeah, Lantern is a really great answer for other water types. And that's the thing. I don't think Lantern should be available until like those sea routes. So Ice for sure. Like I think for sure Sneasel and Swinub. And honestly, early Spheal, that's probably enough for Ice type. Like Ice type doesn't need 15 types. It couldn't, but it doesn't need it. I think the other thing is for like electric types. You've basically got, like I say there's 2 new electric types because Plusle Minum are basically the same Pokemon. I guess we can call it 3. I just don't really think it's honest to call it 3, so I will just leave that at 2. Then you've got Electrode, Pikachu, and Magneton. Electrode is not bad. Like I think people overly hate Electrode. It does actually have some good utility for like setting Rain Dance and then just like blasting off thunders. But Magneton is the clear best electric type. So yeah, and I think like maybe a Mareep in the Safari Zone is okay. It's kind of late in the game. Like if you're waiting that long, it feels a little bit more okay. So yeah, like normal water, grass, fine. Critique for me of grass type is that they're actually quite Electrode is really fast, so it goes first. And then what? I found I found the imported cheese. Viewer. No, Electrode is good because like you could set up a fast screen, you could set up a fast rain dance, a fast explosion. Like, I'm not saying it's the best Pokemon, but it is actually of some use. I think people overhate it. But anyway, my issue with grass type is that there's so many at the start of the game. It's like really overwhelming. I do like. I think this was I thought I saw a super chat that was talking about maybe adding Vulpix earlier in the game. Like, oh, Vulpix around Flannery. Vulpix around Flannery, question mark. But the thing I kind of want to agree on, because again, reminder, Vulpix is in the game already, so I'm fine to like move around Kanto Pokemon that are already in the game. It's just like, I'd rather not add Kanto Pokemon if we don't have to. Manectric, Magaton, and yes, Cats gets it. Emerald has 3 viable electric types: Manectric, Magneton, and T-Bolt Gardevoir. Sorry, watching a stream for me is just like bap 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 bap. We're all over the place, but yeah, I think there is a case to be made for an early fire type. God, like again, I just hate the options for fire type. It's a Magmar, Rapidash, or Houndoom. You know. Fire and ice, you could make cast form better. Yeah, I totally agree. I totally think. Oh, Arcanine. I'm a pretty hard no on Arcanine. I think Arcanine is Arca played out so hard. It's Hoenn, it's a water region. Yeah, but it like is like, I just don't think that that's true. Like, I don't think people say like, oh, it's the water region. Is it really? Like, there's a volcano, there's a desert. It is very like hot. You know, there's a route with volcanic ash is spewing down. It is like, it is a blend of both. I don't think it's fair to say that it's a water region. Fire would be move Vulpix earlier and have Howard take its place in Mount Pyre. That's honestly a pretty respectable opinion. I think that's worth it's worth it. Or move Vulpix earlier and have Houndour take its place at Mount Pyre. I like that a lot. Thank you, Daniel. Thank you for the super chat as well. The water routes are painful. The late game is entirely void of anything but swimmers with very rare fighting types. It's pretty tough. It's pretty tough for sure. And I think we can work to make it better. It genuinely makes for a much more interesting encounter table and some actual cohesion in a region. Oh my god. Yeah, and I think if we just let chat do its thing, you just put every single Pokemon in the game, and that would ruin the game. You know, early Stone Evos, of course. You know, those are you know, those things are you know, of course, is like, yeah. I like the ghost feeling of Vulpix at Mount Pyre. Totally changed the flavor of the Mon for me. And that's the thing that I agree with too, is that it really feels like it really feels at home at Mount Pyre. Yeah, let's talk about Meditite. Let's talk about Meditite and ghost types. Which first? What do we think about Meditite? Meditite and Meteor Falls. I can kind of see it, honestly. That's honestly kind of flavorful. I feel like Meteor Falls is also just about to get so many Pokemon. I feel like Meteor Falls is got a lot going on. I guess it's just Lunatone and Solrock right now. It's actually not that bad. What is up with like surfing levels being 5 to 35? Why would you make it possible for me to encounter a level 5 Soul Rock? Meditite at Route 112 or Jagged Pass is great for it. Route 20 has 2 Pokemon and one of them is Meryl. Interesting. Interesting. What is Route 112? Quebec Route 112. Oh. Wow, it's just Meryl and Numel. We're in love with the idea of Meditite. Yeah, I could also see Houndour here, to be honest. Add Machop back. Yeah, it is weird that Machop isn't available. Wait, is Machop not available in Emeralds? Yeah, it's just in the Fiery Pass. It's literally just like, yeah, it's just right up above. I kind of forgot that too, though, so no worries. Yeah, Jagged Pass is the other one. Don't add Houndour. Or Houndour in the Ash area. Feels like a dark fireplace. What do we think about that? Problem with early ghost types is that there isn't a great spot for them. Abandoned ships or New Marvel. Yeah, that's the thing, is I think the game wants an early ghost type, but it's just hard to fit it. So, okay, we've got a lot of thoughts here. This is how my brain goes. I kind of like wrote... No, honestly, I do think Jagged Pass looks better. I could just see Meditite here. I really can see Meditite here, you know? I hate that we've got the Omega Ruby, but up to Schlottberg or head on down to Südlicher Teil. Okay. So, wait. I just got to write this all down. Early ghost type issues. Meditite would be nice on Route 112, but it feels more at home on Jagged Pass. Where does...
Please consider Mischievous early and Gengar post-game. Spec Ghost only helped those 2 while Bayonet's niche got gutted. Excited for this game but really going to miss Bayonet's Fizz Ghost / fighting coverage.
Yeah, I'm definitely aware of the problem that's posed with making Special Ghost for Banette. The Dark Special Split certainly helps more Pokemon than it hurts. All the Dark types are physical attackers in this game, so that's really nice for a Dark type. Unfortunately, Banette isn't a special attacker, and it is really going to mess with Banette. So I have talked about the fact that I would like Shadow Punch to be a move that deals physical damage, just like only move in the game that does that. Just as like, because I just feel like flavorfully, like if Ghost had something weird like that, it would kind of fit. The reason I don't like it is that then everyone's going to say like, we'll make Fire Punch and make Ice Punch. And then it's like, no, that's not the point. And that's the problem, is if you do one, everyone's going to ask you to do them all. So certainly every Pokemon is going to be available post-game, so don't worry about Gengar. But yeah, I think, like, you know, for Ghosts, like, we have looked at Mischievous. It's really the only Pokemon I think we've considered adding. I don't really know if the game needs early Mischievous, really. I think it's probably fine without it. Could make Phoebe a little bit more interesting. So that would be probably why I would want to add it. Mischievous isn't needed, but it makes Phoebe more interesting. I'm going to take that from Reggie, though. There isn't a great spot for them. So I think personally, I would like to see like a Bennett or a Shuppet kind of early game. So basically, what I would want to do is like one is going to become better now, and they're going to be the Mount Pyre, and then the other one is going to be available earlier, but also in Mount Pyre if you don't want to like grind as long for it. So yeah, that's true. Early Ghost trivializes Norman. Well, Sableye has entered the chat. Mirage Tower, Misdreavus. Yeah, I think Pokemon makes a really good point. Like, does Hoenn actually need more ghosts, or is it just that you like Misdreavus and you want in the game? You know, I don't think the game needs a ton of ghost types. There are 4 already, but it's quite a lot. Oh, why not make Shuppet a trade because it's a doll abandoned by its trainer? I think that's kind of a neat idea. You could always improve Benep and not Shuppet. It's true too. Yeah, definitely. I think Ghost is in a weird spot. I think here's the thing: is it's more in line with Legacy's vision, which again, guys, reminder, the whole purpose of this ROM hack is to make a game that still feels like Emerald, right? And I think it would feel a lot more in the spirit of Emerald to add Pokemon that are to move the locations of Pokemon already in the game rather than adding other Pokemon. Like, that is the more drastic, is adding Pokemon. And I know we can get really excited about our favorite Pokemon and say, I really want to see this, I really want to see that. But you got to remember that is less that is more alienating to the player than just simply moving a Pokemon around. Yeah. Yeah, someone has you trade Skitty for a Shuppet because its trainer hates it and wanted a cuter Pokemon. I think that's kind of cool. Duskull should be the Mount Pyre encounter. It's too iconic there. I kind of agree. I feel like an early Shuppet would make more sense. Gorbis and Huntail will definitely be more easy to get. Yes, that's worth noting down. Yeah, for sure. Because there's most of the ROM hacks Gen 3 people have higher expectations. Yeah, and I think that's the thing is people, a lot of you guys want to play some Emerald ROM hacks that just already exist, and you just need to go like literally like just do a Google search, okay? Like, I feel like the Drayano hacks are kind of what you guys might want. I don't know, is there one like I'm thinking like in my head I'm thinking like Storm Silver is what a lot of you guys want, where like everything is buffed and everything learns a million different type coverage moves and all that stuff. And it's not like a Kaizo game, but it's like more difficult. I think there's no Drayano for Emerald. Okay. Yeah. But like, you know what I mean? Like this like Storm Silver's Drayano, right? Right? I think so. That is like what people want, but for Emerald. And it's like, yeah. Anyway, I think a banded ship would make sense for a ghost type. Yeah. Probably abandoned ship works best. The Skitty Shuppet trade is a straight up by Zen mode. Oh, I got it. Wait. Thank you. Yes, the YouTuber. Okay, cool. Oops, I think I just hit someone's messages by mistake. Cool. Thank you. I've got an idea from Zenmo before. It's got some really good videos. Yeah, okay, early fire type. Let's talk about that. Crash says, I think Slugma, Torkoal, Numel work really well as early fire type. Not Torkoal. Torkoal, again, any single stage evolution wants to have pretty high stats to make it last through the end game. And Torkoal is too strong for the early game. Even though May has one, but that's a glitch. Not even a glitch, just an error. So while you guys start to talk about that, I'm just gonna answer. George says, thoughts on early game Ice Fire TMs as coverage for Mons with low special attack that can't abuse them before Pokemon of those types become available. I think the problem with that is that you then have to remove other TMs, and that's kind of weird for the player. So probably not, unless it really was needed. But I think that would be probably more of a drastic decision. That's like if nothing else works. And the Happy Masquerader, Mischievous, right? We got Epic Dude. Disgruntled DM says, why not add the 3 elemental babies? I certainly think that there's a possibility we're going to do that. It's definitely a possibility. Just remove Tentacool and Magikarp from Dragoman. I think that would be very against the ethos of this game to remove 2 Pokemon that people are very familiar with. So you might want to just catch up with what the whole purpose of this project is. Typically, we don't really like to remove or nerf something. We like to buff or make other things better. So rather than removing Tentacool, it would be better to add a Hoenn Water type to earlier. Yeah, no Eevee. Don't talk to me about Eevee. Numa will be my pick for early fire. Slugma feels weird to be anywhere that's not literally a volcano. Yeah, I kind of have to agree. I think if you're going to add, let's just write this somewhere. If you're going to add early fire type, it probably should be Numel. And I think that actually feels the most appropriate. Also, Numel before Watson would be nice. That would do a lot for that line. After getting Surf, would be the abandoned ship be an option for ghosts? Yeah, add random encounters there. I do think, actually, we were just talking about that like 5 minutes ago. I actually do think that would feel pretty good. Yeah, Slugma is literally magma. It needs to be at volcanoes or maybe hot springs. Is it in the hot pass? Fiery path? Hot pass. Grimer is here. Coughing is here. Slugma is here. Okay. Yeah, obviously Slugma needs mad buffs. We gave it so much in Crystal and it was still bad. Oh my god. We had such a crazy idea for Slugma. I forgot about this. But we said, what if we gave Slugma, I think it was Water Absorb, right? When a Pokemon with Water Absorb is hit by a Water type move, its HP is restored by 1/4. Yeah. Yeah. Everyone's like, holy. Wait, that wasn't a joke? That's hilarious. Water Absorb is such a good idea. Okay, see, this wasn't my idea. This was a playtester from like November. The reason that this is okay is because Slugma and Magcargo suck so much ass that like they need something. And a Pokemon with a 4 times weakness to water getting Water Absorb would be, again, hilarious. But it would actually probably, I don't know. I think it might be enough to fix it. I did this in a platinum hack and it was still mid. That's the thing. It's still gonna suck. What's the flavor reason for it? Oh, the water just evaporates because it's so hot. And the reason that flavorfully works is like, if we can find its Pokedex entries. Its body's hot as lava. Shell on its back is skin hardened. Mega shell. Okay, here, Sapphire. Sapphire's entry. Its body temperature is approximately 18,000 degrees. Water is vaporized on contact. If this Pokemon is caught in the raindrops instantly turn into steam, cloaking the area in a thick fog. Okay. I feel like it's not perfect. I agree. Whoever was like criticizing the absorb part. Oh, it's hotter than the sun. That's the thing. Is there's no other water null abilities. Yeah, Justice. I don't know about the healing. Slugma being a Hoenn water counter is pretty hilarious. It is funny, right? I'm feeling the like the chat is just like, bro, what the fuck? But yeah. Storm Drain doesn't exist in this gen. I don't know if Magma Armor. Magma Armor. What is Magma Armor? Oh, Gen 3? If a frozen Pokemon with Magma Armor is sent into battle as one of the lead Pokemon or to replace a fainted Pokemon or gains Magma due to trace, it will not, oh, what the fuck? Oh, prevents the Pokemon from being frozen. I prefer buffing Magma Armor to give it Water Absorb. Magma Armor instead boosts evasion when hit with a water attack due to the fog portion of the dex entry. There's niche. Then there's niche, then there's this. Oh, the water would harden the lava and restore its shell. Making Magma Armor immune to water moves would also buff Camerupt too. Change Magma Armor and make it like Mimikyu ability. Bruh. Reggie just says bruh. That gets me scared. Yeah, Magma Armor is just not an ability. Camerupt would also have a different ability like Flame Body. Yeah. Buffs its defense instead of taking... Magma Armor's field effect? I don't know if that exists in this gen. Yeah, okay. Zayt, I kind of like Magma Armor. +1 defense when hit with a water move. Like, would that not be cool? Or even +1 defense and +1 special defense. I'm hooked on the water absorb idea. Just a worse steam engine. I don't think that exists though, right? Water absorb is better. It won't survive to get the boost. Oh, sorry, no. But it would be like you're immune to water hits and you get the boost. Magma Armor gives +2 special defense. And special seems a bit much with water immunity. Just one makes sense to me. I guess yeah, that's fair. Water immunity. We could just do water absorb though. Flash fire, but for water and boost defense. Defense buffs over healing. I just feel like defense buffs, it just kind of like, it feels more flavorful. Like it is so in line with its Pokedex entry. Man. Like, Healing is worse than the defense buff. Water absorb is fine. Don't reinvent the wheel. That's true too, is you're just not having to change it. Favor of making magma armor a real ability. Defense buff is flavorful. It makes this a beautiful switch in. Maybe 70% water damage resist instead of full immunity is such a sick idea. The flavor is really literally Michelin star levels. Provides water resistance, making it only 2 times, but also getting hit with water gives it +1 defense, which won't help protect it from water still, but won't make it broken. Weaver, I feel like the thing is, though, is that it's just so bad. Like, even just being entirely resistant to water, like, it's just still not enough. Like, it's really, really bad. Like, even if we give it buffs, it's like a slow, it's just like bad attack, bad special attack, low speed, high defense, like low HP. It's so bad across the board. I feel like it needs something. This isn't really what we're talking about for the stream, but like water absorb Meg Cargo, like it might be the only thing to make it good. Camera up being even neutral to water feels a bit icky, though. Just spitballing. I do agree with camera up. And the thing with Meg Cargo is it still has a 4 times weakness, guys. Like, it's fire rock, not fire ground. So it still is going to be 4 times weak to ground. So, you know, it's going to be... The boy is going to be struggling quite a bit regardless. So I care way more about flavor than Meg Cargo being good. That's fair. Yeah, what do we do with magma armor? We could make a copy of water absorb for Macargo, just with a different, better fitting name. Yeah, I think that's super fair. Because if you're just making the same effect but giving it a different name, you're not really adding a new ability, and then maybe it would feel a little more flavorful. Slugma stomping Pretty Boy Juan would just be so funny. But yeah, we could certainly work on magma armor for Camerupt too, you know? Like, I think that's the other thing that you guys should think about is like Camerupt could certainly get, like, magma armor could also be better. Like, what if magma armor was just like a water resistant, so it would only be 2 times weak to water? Nah, cause you're just so used to blasting Camerupt with water moves. Magma armor signature for Meg Cargo, instead of giving it total immunity, make it half damage from water as well as. Yeah, I mean, if you make it do half damage on Macargo, it's literally still getting 1-tapped. So nobody so far has mentioned Absol, and its placement on Route 120 by Steven is odd. It's a predictor of disasters to come. It should be somewhere on Mount Pyre near the red and blue orbs. I think that's a really good point, Tajiri. Tai Jirai. I'm sorry, I sometimes say that wrong. And you've donated enough and commented enough that I should know that. I think that Absol could be where it is. And on Mount Pyre. Because I think that would be more flavorful. Is like low odds where it is, higher odds, and higher odds on Mount Pyre. See, Absol is what you want in a single stage. Like, Absol is how you kind of want to model a lot of the single stages. Like 465, it's not crazy, but like 130 attack, like it's just got a lot to do if it actually had good moves. So, you know, for me, it's like I would just like to see Mawile and Sableye have this kind of thing going on, you know? Absoloft with the 10 bomb as well, thank you, says, well, what about if you face Steven and Wallace right after Steven loses to him and Wally joins for a fight making 2v2, and then you face Wally to see who's the true champion? I think that would be a little too convoluted for the champion fight. We've talked about this in a few streams, if you want to go back to the other ones. I think it was the second stream or the third stream we've talked about this, maybe both. But yeah, we're talking about maybe making Steven the champion first, and then as a post-game fight, you actually get to see the storyline moment take place where Wallace becomes champion again, or becomes champion, rather. I think that is just a little more straightforward than, like, I think you could do a little too much, and then it's just like, what the heck is going on? And it's just going to not feel like Emerald. So I don't think I'd want to do that, but thank you for the dono. Yeah. Absol is going to be busted for sure with the Dark Change. Yeah. Yeah. Fighting alongside other trainers is very Gen 4-6 thing, to be sure. Yeah. Lava fishing, a fire rod. That would be so cool. I do love that idea. Need an A tier Mawile. Yeah, Absol's still slow, but I think it's gonna be okay. Like, I think it's fine, guys. I think that a slow Absol is all right. Because it's getting a really good buff, and not every Pokemon has to be super fast, and Absol is known for being kind of slow. Yeah, give Camera up Thick Fat instead. It's never really seen with Lava running it down itself, so Magma Armor is an essential. Also, as somebody who drank camel milk recently, give it Milk Drink. Give the Fire Rod guy a raise. I know, right? That's such a good idea. What are the odds Spinda is available earlier or at least playable? 500 base stat on Spinda is a no. I feel like Spinda is probably not going to see a lot. It kind of has Delibird energy. It'll get a bit, but I just don't expect it to get 500 base stat. Yeah, Magma Armor as a Thick Fat clone to reduce damage from water and ground types. I think that is a really nice idea for Magma Armor. I'm going to write that down. So thank you, Oliver. Yeah. Spinda will probably get a buff, but it will also probably still be bad. That's the thing. If you know a Pokemon to be pretty bad, it's going to probably still be pretty bad. It's just going to be better. So, yeah. I think Spinda should remain a gimmick Pokemon. 100% Hatster. I love... Ooh. Bro, Raj, like, you're actually cooking so hard. Oh, my God. I still love a Sneasel hiding in the ash with the Ninja Kids. It almost makes sense, and you know it. Man, I hope you're in the Discord. Like, if you're not in the Discord, can you join? Because, like, you have just been, like, straight cooking this entire stream. Raj Kevis, you are a god. I kind of like that more than oh, it was Meteor Falls we were gonna put it. Where is that? Wait, let's take this and put it up here with Sneasel. I think for me, the reason that's chill, especially, is because also, God damn, I'm so all over the place. Thomas just says 75 isn't that slow in Gen 3, and that's the thing. It's enough. Yes, I lurk in the Discord. Good, because we need you. We need these ideas. What I like about Sneasel here is that Sneasel is really a dark type that also happens to have ice type. Like, what is a real ice type feel in Pokemon? Bro, I feel like we don't get a lot of really ice type feel in Pokemon for a while. Like Glalie? Glalie to me doesn't even... Yeah, Snorunt. Beartic. I feel like for Gen 3 though, Snorunt feels like primarily an ice type. Articuno is kind of half and half, I would say, but quite ice type. Like Jinx, Swinub, Sneasel, none of them really feel primarily ice types, and I think that works to Sneasel's benefit. Ooh, yeah. Absol does have a terrible ability. My Technician triple Axel Hitmontop with Ice Gem feels like a real ice type. Regice. Yeah, sure. I'm just saying Sneasel doesn't really feel. Yeah. Yeah. I don't hate the idea of a snow ability. So certainly no drought and no downpour. Like that's not going to be added to any Pokemon because it destroys the entire story of the game. Tyranitar works because Tyranitar is so badass that like yeah, I think that is deserving to whip up a sandstorm. I don't know if we would want to have one hail Pokemon. Like I feel like it would have to almost be like Regice, you know? I don't know if you could just give that to a random Pokemon. The only thing I could think is like Glalie has an ability where if it's raining, it turns it to hail. But that's a pretty ass ability for the most part. The only thing I would say is like if we did set up some like water teams more in the game, that could actually be useful for like a few niche fights. I just want to say, there should be no non-Hoenn Pokemon before Roxanne. I like that in RS. Have Abra replaced by Spoink. Actually, I think that's a fair point. But because Abra is already there, it's really hard to remove it from the game. I just think like that's a Pokemon people really like. It's one of my favorite Pokemon, and I don't really even use it for Gen 3. It feels weird. You know what? I'll write it. I'll take that. I don't know if I like Spoink, but I do like the idea of no Gen 2 or 1s before. So we'll write that down. Yeah, give Glalie Snow Warring. It would certainly be interesting. Or just keep Abra in the cave later. Yeah, that's true. Hail's so bad at Gen 3. I think we'd probably at least make Hail like 100% accurate Blizzard. Maybe make it like Snow in Gen 9. Bye, Bryce. No warning is not in the game. No. Yeah, I think Hail. I think first we want to fix Hail. That's the place to start. So I don't even want to make Azurill before Meryl. It just makes the line so much worse and so annoying. What about Castborb setting the weather based on its weather move? Again, it just destroys the storyline of Gen 3. So I think Scyther would feel really weird in Petalburg Woods. Nyx. Yeah. Doom's Desire on Absol would be kind of cool. It's not very good, though. Definitely think we could see some early availability on Corphish. Maybe Old Rod on Route 109. The other thing is Good Rod for picking up Barboach before Watson. I think a lot of people have commented like what a slap in the face it is that you can catch Barboach to the right of Mauville, but only with a Good Rod, and the Good Rod isn't available. Make Old Rod catch it, because that would be a really good Pokemon to catch. Like I think if you could catch a Barboach before the third gym, like that would be really nice. I think the big problem with Whiscash, outside of being worse than Swampert, is just that it's kind of late. It would be really nice for the third and fourth gym. It breathes cold in a few games. Hail would make sense as an ability there. Plus, it would give it a niche. Yeah, again, it's just like, do you want to give a really we would never give Pelipper Draught because that just destroys the storyline. So it's like, would you want to do this? Would you want to make an ice Pokemon able to do that? I don't know. Yeah, Hail should always have been the opposite of Sand. Sand boosts special defense, and Hail should have also always boosted defense, with both doing chip. I agree, and I feel like that's probably what we want to do. It does a lot for the line. I definitely have been thinking about that for sure.
I mean, one way to go about giving weather to Torkoal/Pelipper and still have the story make sense is to make Torkoal/Pelipper's weather temporary a la modern games, but make Groudon/Kyogre's weather permanent.
Yeah, and that's actually like the exact thing that I've said to the team. I've kind of like pushed back on. I think most of the team were kind of like, no, that's still too much for this game. Just because this game is meant to be like, no, only one Pokemon can make weather. And I think flavorfully, that's probably the best way to do it, unfortunately. So I it would be nice, but I still think that's even too much. Because the weather changes, and they're like, what the fuck? Like, and if a Pelipper can do that, then they're not like, it unfortunately, I think even just that is too much for the storyline. Unfortunately. Barboach learns Spark by level up, not egg move. Huh. Okay. That's weird. I don't think that's true. There's no way I learned Spark. Anyway, yeah. Okay, I think that's all the super chat, guys. So that's been 2 hours. I think I want to wrap it up right here. So if there's any final comments, like let it be known now, because we're gonna call this. So this has been a good stream. Just got back from a little trip. We're in Austin. Yeah, me and Liv were in Austin visiting. Was with JC Backfire and his girlfriend, MC Sports Hawk, Matt, and his wife, and Noah J. If you guys know any of those zombies' faces. Do we have any people that know them? Do you guys know the gang? I mean, I'm sure some of the people here know me through zombies. So, yeah, seeing the boys for the boys and the ladies for July 4th. It was a real good time. I also lived in Austin briefly. Actually, this channel started when I was living in Austin, so it's kind of cool to go back to Austin. Had a real good time. So, yeah. Weebra knows. Sand doesn't boost. Yeah, so Hail shouldn't either. Yeah, but but I would say like maybe make it so it does. Don't forget Surskit. I don't want to talk about Surskit this stream. I specifically didn't for a reason, but I won't. Barboach available with an Old Rod. I think that would be really nice. Chinchu earlier. I think Chinchu maybe just a bit earlier. I'll write that down, actually. That's a good point. Chinchu earlier, but just by a little bit. Weather changes by like Castform and Pelipper. Maybe by fishing on an ocean route, comma, not through dive. So that way, like, you get your 6th badge, you do all your stuff, you head out to the ocean routes. If you just get the Super Rod, baby, or maybe just Good Rod, you can catch Chinchu by that. I think that would be fine for Chinchu, because then you just get it one gym earlier, and having it for actually, it'd be really useful in the Tate and Liza fight, because you'd have super effective against the 3 ones weak to water, and then also you have electric against the Xatu. And then, like, the only thing you really have to worry about is Claydol's Earthquake. So, could be cool. Clam Pearl for sure. Relicanth for sure. Yeah, don't forget about Relicanth. I think Relicanth will be a pretty light Pokemon, but I think in that we can make it pretty strong. Clamperl and Relicanth, yeah. Natu, Route 115. Maybe, I don't know about Natu, but I'll just write that down. Make Electric earlier. I think it's at a pretty good spot. It doesn't need to be any earlier because it doesn't really do anything if it's earlier. Yeah, Clamperl earlier for sure. Oh yeah, Lunatone. Make Lunatone and Zangoose available respective areas. Or put Zangoose after Meteor Falls. I think, although that grass patch may require surf, but it's really good, so that might actually be balanced. Okay, cool. Yeah, maybe Zangoose a bit later than Seviper because it's better. Earlier, yeah. Bagon in Meteor Falls early? Question mark. Nose Pass move to Rust Turf Tunnel. Nose Pass as Rock Smash in Rust Turf Tunnel. Yep, Feebas. Spawn with missing health on the areas they share. That's actually so flavorful, but I don't think that would be very easy to code. That's really funny. Just a bunch of busted up guys. Yep, we're aware that all 3 ghosts are physical attackers. Don't worry. Yeah, Kaimeko's gonna get a buff, I think. Scorched Slab. What is the Scorched Slab? Oh, is that little cave that has Sunny Day in it? Yeah. I mean, maybe. I don't know. All right, guys, I think that's it. This has been a really productive stream. Yeah, I just got back yesterday, last night, actually. Actually, there's a hurricane hitting Austin right now, so yeah, we're done. That's it. But yeah, hurricane hitting Austin. One of the first, like, Texas doesn't really get hurricanes. And it's not even like hurricane season. It's weird. Anyway, but yeah, I was supposed to leave today. Actually, I was gonna fly out of Austin to come back home. And I was like, oh, there's a hurricane coming. So I decided to change flights, and I said it was a necessary business expense. So the company flied to bring me home because I needed to stream. So got you guys. Don't worry. You got. Normally I wouldn't work the day after like an entire day of travel because I'm just so tired. But I was like, well, we'll say the company needs me to come home to stream. And honestly, I haven't streamed in like over 10 days, so I did want to get back and stream. And I was like, if I get stuck in a hurricane and can't leave for like another 4 days, that's gonna be bad because I need to stream. So we got that business. Yeah. Pretty sure hurricane season is June to November. Yeah, I mean, that's true. In my head, it's just like more of a September thing. So I was just surprised that Texas would get one now in June because it's rare for Texas to get hurricanes. But yeah, maybe Scorched Slab with some Auras treatment. I'll write that down. Scorched Slab with some Auras treatment. See y'all at the discussion stream 5. Yeah, and what would you guys like me to talk about for stream 5? I'm thinking maybe we start looking at Pokemon that need buffs. Kind of taking this time different. Like I feel like with Yellow, it was like, well, with Crystal, I had already like gotten so started on it that it wasn't really productive to like talk with people. And then Yellow, like I talked with you guys a bit, but then we kind of got it underway pretty quickly because I wanted to get through yellow quick enough. But with this one, I'm kind of like honestly fine to just take a bit of time and just do these streams and like chat with you guys, because you guys do seem to really enjoy this, and I think I get a lot out of it too, to just have some time to just like sit and just brainstorm. And that's really all this is to me, I think. So I think that this is oh, stream 5 could be looking at abilities. That's actually, dude, Raj, stop cooking. I think that I liked the encounter rate stream where we were editing the rates. Yeah, like I haven't been doing much coding stuff in these streams yet. Really just like looking at just brainstorming. It's always nice to listen. Cool. Yeah. So I just want to do a little bit more of these before the team really starts like ramping up. I've given the playtest team one basic Emerald version so far, and it had changes up to the second gym leader. So we had Brawly with like a super weak Breloom. It's kind of interesting. Like we gave him a Breloom, but its only attacking move is false swipe. Its only physical attacking move is false swipe. So it can't one-shot you. It can only hit you, and then it has to hit you with like a Mega Drain, which isn't very strong on it. You know, playing with ideas like that, we gave Roxanne, Lileep, and Anorith, and it feels really nice. I really think that's probably going to be Roxanne's final build is Nose Pass, Anorith, and Lileep. We actually gave Watson a Chinchu. I feel like I think we replaced the Electrike. It was maybe. No, we replaced the Voltorb and the Electrike with a Plusle or Minun. I think it was a Minun and a Chinchu. And to me, that team just is way, way cooler. That's all we've gone so far. But yeah. Maybe we'll talk about abilities next stream. That would be kind of fun. So we've only really gone to gym 3. I mean, I've got my ideas for the later gyms and stuff, but that's where we're at right now. Yeah, I don't know. Replacing Brawly's Ace with Breloom feels a little bit bold, but I kind of like a full team of Hoenn Pokemon. And so what we did is like Makuhita as the lead, and it actually keeps the Citrus Berry, so it does kind of have like kind of Ace vibes, but it's not his lead, but it's not like his final Pokemon. But you can kind of say like it's still his Ace, and we'd make it so that in the rematches, Hariyama is his Ace. He's just leading with it, and Breloom is stronger. I don't know. One thing that does actually is it makes Torchic a bit better because it's, grass type. So anyway, Tajirai with the final super chat of the stream. Thank you for the stream today. I took the day off work for health reasons, and this was all the excitement I had today. Well, I'm glad to bring you a little bit of excitement, and I appreciate all the contributions. I feel like I've seen you in all the streams, so it's really appreciated. Anyway, for everyone, guys, thank you so much for coming out. Yeah. So that was cool. And I will see you guys later. Bye. There's my thing. Okay. Boo bye.